Saturday's new moon solar eclipse in Taurus is going to be absolutely amazing. With loads of positive astrological energy, this eclipse is going to usher in new and beautiful things, particularly things that we are passionate about. So it's going to be a great one. In this video, I'm going to discuss the astrology for the solar eclipse, break it down by sign, and then pull some tarot cards. So stay tuned. You definitely don't want to miss this. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite astrologer, Mel of Divine Feminine Works. And as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and hit that follow button. I've got loads of excellent daily content. Plus, I go live every Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for live tarot readings by sign. All right, so head over there, hit that follow button so you don't miss any of that great stuff. All right, so as I alluded to in my intro, this solar eclipse is actually going to be super dope, okay? It's got loads of positive energy. There's a lot of great stuff going on, and there's something magical about it. With all of this Pisces energy that we've been experiencing over the last month, expect miracles. Expect the unexpected, number one. Expect miracles and expect your truest desires to actually take form. So again, this is going to be one for the books. So this one is going to be really dope. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the astrology. All right. So we all know that new moons are when the sun and the moon are conjunct. All right. And a solar eclipse happens at the new moon phase. And during an eclipse, the sun, the moon, and earth are all aligned. And when we're talking about a solar eclipse, it means that the moon actually blocks out the light of the sun. The eclipse that we're going to have on Saturday is a partial solar eclipse, meaning that it's not going to be total, but just a portion of the sun's light is going to be blocked. But rather than like the scientific aspect of solar eclipses, I want to talk about sort of the spiritual aspect, because that's really what we're concerned about, right? And in that instance, during a solar eclipse, it's all about new beginnings, but new beginnings that are ushered in by the universe. Think of a solar eclipse as a new moon on steroids. It's got like 10 times the potency of a regular new moon, okay? And so it's sort of the universe's way of shifting things around. So when we're talking about a new moon, we're talking about new beginnings, we're talking about starting something new. So during a new moon solar eclipse, it's sort of the universe's way of adding or eclipsing things into our lives that we need, things that are going to get us to where we need to go, things that align us with our destiny. So it's all about this sort of shift and move around in our lives, but in a very positive way that ushers in new beginnings. All right. And this solar eclipse is clearly no exception, especially because we've got such positive astrological energy surrounding it, okay? This is also known as a black moon, which is sort of rare because it's the second new moon that we're having in the same calendar month. So back on April 1st, we had a new moon in the sign of Aries, and we're ending the month on April 30th with another new moon in the sign of Taurus. So there's something about this solar eclipse that's, number one, rare, right? Because there's two new moons in the same month. And number two, based on the astrology, which I'll get into in a second, it's very magical, and it's like making things happen in such a beautiful way, in ways that you could never even expect. All right. So again, good stuff all around. All right. So let's get into the actual astrology and see what we have here. All right, so you'll notice that here in Taurus at 10 degrees, we have the sun and the moon conjunct. So this creates the new moon. Take a look right here, this little blue guy right here at 14 degrees. This is Uranus. So Uranus is also in the mix in this solar eclipse. And Uranus is the planet of surprise. It's the planet of sudden changes. It's almost like lightning striking, okay? Now, this conjunction happening in Taurus is sort of going to shake things up. And really, it's going to shake us up out of our comfort zones. But don't worry or don't think of this as something to be fearful of. I think that it's a good shakeup. It may feel a little jarring, but I feel like by and large, it's really going to help us and like be positive in the end. All right. So again, we have Uranus here conjunct the sun and the moon. That same day, we also have Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Pisces at 27 degrees. And then add Neptune over here at 24 degrees for a very powerful stellium in the sign of Pisces. Now, if you've watched any of my weekly astrology forecasts, you know I've been talking about this Pisces stellium for a couple of weeks because we've been experiencing it for a couple of weeks. And that is just, this stellium is very positive. It's very whimsical, magical. It's one of these things that, it's one of these stelliums that allows you to believe in miracles because miracles can actually happen. And I know that sounds so woo-woo and it sounds very, fantastical, but it's true. It's very, I'm not going to say it's very rare that we get transits like this, but I feel like normally we're sort of used to the realistic transits that astrology provides in our lives. And I feel like this Pisces stellium is one of those rare moments where we can believe in magic and where beautiful things can happen and be created. And with this stellium going on the same day as this solar eclipse, it adds this sort of, it's like sprinkling fairy dust on it. Super powerful, very magical, and again, like miracles are possible. Especially with the presence of Uranus right here. It's like expect the unexpected, but in a really good way. All right. And then the final thing that we have is, again, we've got the sun and the moon, which are conjunct at 10 degrees, and they are going to be sextile to Mars over here also in Pisces at 11 degrees. Now, sextiles are a positive aspect, meaning that it brings the planetary energies together in a very positive way. Now, sextiles are all about opportunity. It's like the energy is available to you if you want to use it. And with the sun and the moon conjunct, meaning a new beginning, sextile to Mars in Pisces, it's all about a new beginning based on our passions and our desires. So if there's something that you're really wanting, if there's something that you've been desiring, it's definitely possible at this solar eclipse. And again, the lovely part about it being an eclipse is that you really don't have to do much because it's like the universe is taking care of it for you. It's like the universe has like a 33,000 foot view and can see everything. And so solar eclipses, well, eclipses in general, but we're talking about the solar eclipse, so that's why I mentioned that. This solar eclipse in general is like the universe shifting everything, in the right way so that you can have a beautiful and magical new beginning. If I had to sum up, everything I've been saying in the last couple of minutes, that would be it. Shifting things to have a beautiful and magical new beginning. All right. And what I love about that is that it's so, out of the ordinary. And it's basically things that we necessarily wouldn't think of for ourselves or things that we've been resistant to, right? If we're talking about the new moon in Taurus, Taurus is all about comfort. It's all about being in your comfort zone. And the presence of Uranus is going to shake us out of that comfort zone and provide things that may be new and exciting that we wouldn't normally gravitate toward because we're concerned about staying in our comfort zone, staying with what we know, being stable, and being stubborn about it too, right? Because we're talking about Taurus. So it's really a very new and exciting beginning as well, which is what I love, all right? So this eclipse and this eclipse season, right? Because this is the first eclipse of 4 that we're having in 2022. Is along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And the Taurus-Scorpio axis has a lot to do with resources. It has a lot to do with superficiality versus substance and depth. It has a lot to do with sort of being in your own bubble versus being intimate with somebody. But by and large, this particular solar eclipse is all about our resources, okay? And also realigning us with fate. Like I said before, it's the universe's way of shifting things around to get us to where we need to go. And with the new moon solar eclipse happening in Taurus, it's like the universe is going to be providing the people, places, and things that we need to move ahead in a very practical sort of way, because Taurus is an earth sign, it's practical, and it's concerned with tangible things. So some of you, like, don't be surprised if you get like a windfall of money, extra money coming in, or unexpected money coming in. You may get the right materials you need to move forward. The right people may come into your life in order to help you along their journey, especially because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about relationships. So the right people may suddenly be put in your path. You may be contacting these people, or they may be contacting you. You might go to a place, a particular location where you suddenly bump into someone and strike up a conversation and they give you the exact knowledge that you need to know, or they give you advice, or even something tangible that you may need or that you've been searching for. And it's all going to happen in a very sort of random, happenstance, magical sort of way, again, because of that Pisces stellium that we have, okay? The Taurus Scorpio axis also deals with things like control, power, and things that we value. So perhaps some of the things that we think about when we, in terms of value, like our self-worth, our self-esteem, our money, our assets, some of those things may be changed in a positive way with this solar eclipse. In terms of power and control, perhaps those issues may come to the forefront with this solar eclipse. But again, it's nothing to be alarmed at because, like I mentioned before, the astrology is super positive. So anything that's changing is changing for the good and is ultimately going to make you feel good. And pretty happy, I think, too. But you have to remember that because we're going to be sort of jostled out of our comfort zones, it may feel a little unsettling at first, but then I think you're really going to be happy with how things settle when everything is said and done. So I think everything is going to be really, really dope, okay? So I also want you to think back to November of 2021, because at that time we had a lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And so this solar eclipse in Taurus is sort of the continuation of that energy. So think back to that time and think about what happened. Think about what may have been eclipsed out of your life at that time. Perhaps you lost something tangible, right? Because we're talking about Taurus, or something that you really valued, okay? And now at this solar eclipse, something is going to be eclipsed into your life in relation to that. So it's almost like the universe may have taken something away only to replace it right now with something better and something that's going to help you get to where you need to go. All right. So again, all of this is really great stuff. And you're also going to want to pay attention to sort of the emotional issues that were going on around November of 2021, because I feel like, again, that's going to be a continuation of this solar eclipse. Those same themes are going to be popping up. All right. And again, the last thing I want to say about this eclipse is that with the presence of the stellium of Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, it's all about magic. It's all about believing in miracles. It's all about love. Like, this is one of those eclipses where if your desires, or if you're I guess desires, I don't know. If your desires pertain to love or money, this is the eclipse where that shit is going to happen, where that is going to materialize. And emphasis on materialize, because Taurus is an earth sign. It's all about tangible things. So it's almost like imagining the best relationship possible, imagining being a millionaire, and then at the solar eclipse, boom, it's like the universe gives you exactly what you need so that desire can be fulfilled. Okay, so pay attention to who comes into your life. Pay attention to what comes into your life, because again, it's going to be so pivotal in getting you to where you need to go. Beautiful energy. Can't stress that enough. It's just going to be super dope. Again, eclipses are extremely powerful, to the point where, like, in ancient times, people were told, like, not doing any rituals, not doing any spells or anything around that time, because the energy is super potent. And unless you really know how to harness that energy and use it to your advantage, people usually sit eclipses out. Although you'll have other astrologers and spiritualists who will tell you, it's the best time to do magic. It really depends on what you do and what's comfortable for you. But typically, I like eclipses because it's like the universe's way of doing stuff. So I don't have to do anything. So I just let the chips fall where they may and, keep it moving. So that's what we have to look forward to with this eclipse. All right. So now let's break it down by sign and see what each sign can expect for this eclipse. All right, so you know the deal. I'm going to break it down by sign, and then I'm going to pull a card for each sign, representative of the energy or what you can look forward to for this eclipse. All right, so without further ado, of course, let's get into it. And as always, we start at the beginning with Aries. All right, so Aries, for you, this solar eclipse is happening in your second house of money and material possession. So this is the eclipse where you could get a windfall of cash. Money can just fall into your lap. Money that you may have been owed is going to come to you. New income streams may open up. Remember, this is a new moon solar eclipse, so it's about new beginnings related to money, related to assets, and related to things that you value. So this may be an improvement in your self-worth, or your self-esteem. Assets may go up. Again, unexpected money coming in with the presence of Uranus. If there's something that you've been desiring to purchase, right? Because again, with the sextile to Mars, it's all about making our truest and deepest desires come to fruition. If there's something like a big ticket item you've been wanting to purchase or something you had your eye on for a while, it's like the universe is going to give you the resources in order to do that. All right. So for you, it's pretty straightforward. It's money, 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 money. All right. So let's get a card for you and see what this solar eclipse has in store. Oh, okay. All right. So for you, we've got darkness. All right. And if you notice, this is a 4, which signifies stability, again, which talks about money. So some of you, I feel like, have been in the dark for a while. If you notice, this says long night moon. All right. So I get the sense that for some, I'm not even going to say for some, I'm going to say for quite a few Aries, I feel like you've been in a season of darkness when it comes to money. Perhaps money hasn't been looking good. Your money's been kind of funny. It hasn't been hitting how it's supposed to be hitting, you know, like all of that stuff. I feel like this solar eclipse, this new beginning, is going to shine a huge light on your money sector, your assets sector, the things that you value, and sort of open things up, give it a breath of fresh air. The vision I'm getting right now is sort of like, you know, those a room that's been closed off for a while. It hasn't been inhabited. There's a lot of dust. The shades have been closed. It's been dark for a minute. That's sort of where you've been in terms of money and assets. And I feel like this solar eclipse is going to air it out, open the door, open the blinds, open the windows, and remove some of that dust. So for some of you, this may be a desire you've had in the past that perhaps didn't come to fruition or wasn't the right time back then, but now is the right time. It's going to re-energize and you're going to be able to move forward positively in terms of money. So that's amazing, Aries, because, you know, when your money's not right, you don't feel so good. And with this sort of jumpstart and boost when it comes to your money, you're going to be able to accomplish a lot and feel accomplished and feel secure. All right. So I like that for you. That's dope. All right, so next up, we've got Taurus. All right, so Taurus, this eclipse is going down in your first house of self. Now, you've been going a radical transformation, perhaps in terms of your body, in terms of your attitude, in terms of your outlook, because Uranus has been in your sign for a couple of years now, and it's going to remain in your sign for a couple of years. And the North Node just moved into your sign a couple of months ago, so there's a lot of this faded activity going on in your first house. I also want to point out something important. Uranus is also the planet of divine will. Because the energy of Uranus is so erratic, it represents the universe, the chaos, and just the broad vastness of the universe is encapsulated in Uranus energy. So and plus the North Node is all about fate and destiny. So a lot of Taurus risings are going through this rebirth. Orchestrated by spirit, orchestrated and in terms of divine will. So a lot of you your outlooks are different, your appearance is different, everything about you is sort of transforming. And this solar eclipse is going to usher in everything that you need to be your best self. It's going to give you all the resources, the people, the places, the things in order to have you in line with where you need to go and realign you with your fate in terms of your body, your outlook, your thoughts, your attitude, all of that stuff. All right. So let's get a card for Taurus rising. All right. Ooh, interesting. We've got boundaries. And this is a 12, which reduces to a 3. Okay, so some of you are learning how to have boundaries, but not in the sense that, you know, your guard is down and people are able to take advantage of you. It's about holding on to what you have, okay? Particularly when it comes to your attitude, right? Because I feel like, again, because I mentioned you guys are undergoing this like transformation of sorts, okay? And a lot of you are changing your outlook, changing your attitude, changing your appearance. And this card just lets me know that you have to keep doing what you're doing. You see how, I love how she's naked, right? Because this is very much emblematic of the first house, of the house of self, right? And she's in this bubble, okay? And it's like, it's good for you to stay in your bubble and keep doing what you're doing. Don't allow the outside environment or outside people to derail you or get you to go back to what you used to do or how you used to think. It's really about setting boundaries so you can preserve everything that you've worked toward. It's about preserving these changes that have occurred within you and keep moving, okay? So again, it's really about self-preservation and setting the boundaries so that you can maintain and sustain that, all right? Good stuff. Very good stuff, I would say. All right, so next up, we've got Gemini. All right, so Gemini, for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 12th house of solitude and confinement, okay? Now, all this means is that whenever we have planets transiting our 12th house, it's a time of faith and it's a time of things happening behind the scenes. So a lot of this rearranging that the universe is doing, it may be on a very subconscious level, or it may be things that you're not even privy to. You know how a butterfly can flap its wings in Japan and that can affect the weather here in the United States, right? It's sort of that kind of energy where things may be put in place at a distance. Things may be put in place that you can't even see in order to get you to where you need to go. And it's going to affect you on a very subconscious and personal level, okay? And it's really about having faith in that, because for a lot of the other signs, right, a lot of what they need, a lot of what the universe is going to bring in with this solar eclipse, they're going to be able to see it or feel it or experience it or know about it, right? But for you, it's going to be about having faith in the fact that you're not going to be able to see, hear, understand, know anything of what is going on, but trust and believe that it is still happening. You know, I'm being guided to say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for you, Gemini. I feel like some of you feel like you are in this darkness, right? And it's within the darkness that seeds are planted, right? That's the whole point of a new moon, particularly this new moon solar eclipse. But that's also when you build your faith muscle in the darkness, when you can't see anything, when there's nothing made apparent to you that you're going to be able to move forward. It's trust in the unknown. It's trust in God, the universe, and even yourself and your higher self to know that, yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm making my way to it, okay? I feel like this solar eclipse is going to be very profound for you, okay? So let's see what we have for you with the tarot, well, the oracle deck. All right, we've got beauty. Interesting. All right. So Gemini, there is beauty in the unknown, okay? And I want to mention again this Pisces stellium, right? Because it's Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter in Pisces. And Pisces is actually the natural, I'll say Jupiter is the natural ruler of, Jupiter and Neptune are the natural rulers of the 12th house. So you have this energy at your disposal that's so beautiful. It's like the beauty of God, the beauty of the universe is really what's at play for you. And so it's about like stopping to smell the roses, even if you can't see them. And I know that makes absolutely no sense, but it's about like having gratitude for where you are, even if you can't see the finish line yet. It's about being appreciative of how far you've come, even if you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel just yet, okay? So find beauty in where you are at right now and practice gratitude. That's what's going to help you get to the light at the end of the tunnel, all right? That's like super important, because it's very easy to get discouraged and down when you're in the throes of things, right? But if you're able to have gratitude, if you're able to see the beauty of the situation and just be grateful for where you're at, right? It makes things a whole lot easier, and it makes it makes everything a whole lot easier to deal with. All right. All right, so that was Gemini. So now we are up to Cancer. All right, Cancer. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 11th house of friends, ambitions, associations, and goals, okay? So this is the house where, you know, you may have friends who suddenly come to help you, come to your aid, friends who give you something. Maybe friends are giving you money. Maybe people that you associate with, groups that you're part of really help you get ahead. This is also the house of wishing upon a star. This is the house where dreams come true. So again, with that Pisces stellium and this whole magical element to this solar eclipse, you guys can really expect miracles. So don't be afraid to dream big. Allow your imagination to to soar, especially with respect to the things that you desire at this time. If it's love, if it's money, regardless of what it is, allow your imagination to tap into that desire, because this solar eclipse is like the premier event that's actually going to make that happen, and make it happen in a very tangible and real sort of way. So keep an eye out for friends that are offering assistance. Keep an eye out for groups that you may be able to join, or groups that you may recruit for, or whatever it is. But by and large, like, imagine what you really want, and I feel like the solar eclipse is going to make it happen. All right, so let's get a card here for Cancer and see what we have. All right, we've got resistance. Okay, so some of you are a bit hesitant. Some of you are really holding on to what you have, and it's like you can't receive if your hands are like this, right? You have to have your hands wide open so that you can receive. So some of you, I'm hearing like holding on to grudges. Some of you are holding on to anger. Some of you may be holding on to people that are just not in alignment with where you need to go. Regardless, there's a certain element of holding on that you're doing that is going to make this new beginning hard to find you, okay? It's almost like that analogy where people say it's like your blessings are waiting to come in like an airplane, but the tarmac is just full of stuff and the plane can't land. That's kind of how you guys are operating right now. It's very important that right before the solar eclipse, I want to say on Friday, you guys may want to think about and relinquish some of these grudges, some of these emotions, or maybe even some of the people that you've been holding on to, because right before the new moon is the balsamic phase of the moon, which is all about banishing. And it's sort of your last chance, that, you know, last call for alcohol, right? In terms of banishing and getting rid of the things that you no longer need or that no longer serve you. So some of you really need to relinquish control also. I think that to a certain extent, some of you, I'm not going to say control freaks, but you guys like to be in control of a lot of the aspects of how things go on in your life, right? And the thing about eclipses, particularly solar eclipses, about bringing new things in, is that it's out of our control. It's something that we just have to allow. And some of you have difficulties with allowing, with surrendering. And this solar eclipse is really going to teach you how to do that. Or conversely, you're going to need to do that in order to be able to feel the full effects of this solar eclipse. So Cancer, let go. Whatever you're holding on to is nothing. It pales in comparison to what the universe is trying to bring in for you, okay? So it's okay to relinquish. It's okay to, you know, just open your arms and receive. And I feel like that's the energy that this solar eclipse is asking of you, so that you can have a magical new beginning, okay? Like, I think there's a lot that's trying to find you, but you guys just tend to be so rigid about what you have or what you feel or what you believe that it's so hard to experience something new. All right, so let go. I think that you guys have a lot of great stuff in store for you. All right, so that was Cancer. Next up, we are up to Leo. All right, Leo, so this solar eclipse is going down in your 10th house of career and public life, all right? So this is the solar eclipse that's going to give you everything that you need, all the resources, all the people, places, and things to help you get ahead in your career or your life purpose or vocation. The 10th house also covers your reputation, your social standing. So if there's something you've really been desiring in terms of your career, in terms of your life purpose, this is the event that's going to help usher that in, all right? So you're going to have to be receptive. You're going to have to be open, because, again, the universe is going to give you everything that you need to get ahead, all right? So let's see what we have for you for this eclipse. Oof, that's too many. Let's try that again. All right. Oh, we've got pleasure. All right, nice. So Mars as a planet is definitely concerned with pleasure. It governs sex, right? But the physical aspect of sex. But I don't necessarily get that this is the physical aspect, right? Especially because Mars is part of that stellium in Pisces. So this is about love, pleasure, sensuality, sort of, when you think about pleasure, the idyllic sense of it, right? And so some of you need to tap into this energy when it comes to your career. especially when it comes to your life purpose, if your life purpose happens to be your career, right? I get the sense that some of you, not that you're dissatisfied with your career or you hate your job or something like that, but I feel like it could be 10 times better if you implement pleasure into it. For some of you, sex, pleasure, everything having to do with that may be a component of your career, or it may become a component of your career. Not saying that y'all are going to do porn unless you want to, but something along those lines I'm getting is going to be a major component in your career. But by and large, for most of you, I get that this is about implementing pleasure. What do you really want? What makes you feel good when it comes to your career? And doing more of that. I feel like this eclipse is going to eclipse in this idea or this notion that, I really want to enjoy what I do on a physical level, on an emotional level. Like, I just want to have more pleasure in my life. If I'm doing this as a career, meaning that I'm doing this most hours of the day, right? You're going to want to enjoy it. You're going to want to infuse pleasure into it. And I feel like this solar eclipse is going to do just that. All right. I think that this is really great. And this is going to get you to tap more into your heart space, which is very natural for you, Leo. You guys are emblematic of following your heart chakra, all of that stuff. And I feel like along the way, when it comes to career, you've kind of forgotten that, or you've subdued that, maybe because of the industry that you're in, or maybe because of the things that you need to do and accomplish. You haven't had much time or space to really inject pleasure into what you do. And I feel like this solar eclipse is going to allow you to do just that. All right. So it's going to be really dope. I really like this for you because it's going to make you feel more like you again. All right. So again, just like every other sign, be receptive to it and see what happens, because I feel like you're going to be pleasantly surprised. All right. All right. So that was Leo rising. Now we are up to Virgo. All right, Virgo. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 9th house of long distance travel and higher education. The 9th house is also a spiritual house because it deals with faith. It deals with religion, philosophy. It also covers things like foreign affairs, legal situations, legal matters, and stuff like that. So for you, this is about going on an adventure that broadens your mind and your horizons, something that allows you to experience life, okay? It's not just about knowledge that you gain from a book, because the 9th house also covers knowledge. It's higher knowledge that you get from experience, from going out in the world, experiencing things, and thus becoming wise, okay? And so I feel like this solar eclipse is going to usher in a period in your life where you're going to go on some sort of adventure. Not to say that you're going to travel the world, although that is a possibility. But I think that whatever happens with respect to this solar eclipse, it's really going to broaden your horizons. Maybe some of you are going to learn something regarding faith or religion or spirituality that's just going to broaden your mind. This is one of those times when you guys can really experience a spiritual awakening, especially with that Pisces stellium. I feel like you guys, with this solar eclipse in your 9th house, I feel like it's going to start a spiritual awakening, an epiphany of sorts that's just going to broaden your mind, and just the world is going to look different and feel different for you, and you're going to learn so much via experience and get your wisdom up. It's going to be a very exciting time. It's really going to make you feel a little out of sorts, though, because I know I'm a Virgo sun, so I know that Virgo energy very well. It's very precise, meticulous, diligent, sort of routine, sort of doing the day-to-day stuff and doing it in the best way possible, right? But this is sort of going to take you out of your comfort zone, and it's really going to make you see things. It's almost like you've been coloring with 2 crayons, and I feel like now at this solar eclipse, and the time following the solar eclipse, I feel like you guys are going to be coloring with a full box, okay? So it's going to be really eye-opening for you if you allow it to be, okay? So let's get a card for Virgo rising and see what we have here. Ooh, okay, self-reflection. I like this, Virgo. Okay, so this is about seeing yourself, but you're going to be seeing yourself from a very different lens. Again, like I said, it's like you've been coloring with 2 crayons, right? Just 2 different colors. And you've been doing it well. You've been coloring within the lines. And it's sort of given you this sense of satisfaction because that's very much emblematic of Virgo, right? But I feel like this eye-opening era that this eclipse is ushering in is going to get you to see yourself in full color, to see all facets of yourself. Again, it's going to be so eye-opening in terms of who you are, what you believe, what you stand for, even things like politics, even things like philosophy, even things like religion. You're going to have a different vantage point from which to examine it and from which to experience it. So again, this is a time where you are going to be faced with yourself, but in a very spiritual sense. And I feel like, again, it's going to get you to go on this adventure that you probably wouldn't have embarked on your own. I feel like the universe was like, all right, Virgo, I really think that you need this right now. You need to open your eyes and live a little, okay? And so, again, be receptive and be open to it. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to experience a lot. But again, it's going to take you out of your comfort zone. So don't shy away from it. Sort of ease into it. And I feel like by this time next year, your life is probably going to be very different in a good way. All right. All right. So that was Virgo. So now we are up to Libra. All right, Libra. So this solar eclipse is going down in your 8th house of intimacy, transformation, regeneration, sex, and shared resources. All right. So as opposed to Aries, right? So Aries has their solar eclipse in their 2nd house of money. The 2nd house of money covers your money, your personal assets. The 8th house covers shared assets. So if you have a spouse, it would be like your joint bank account. It covers things like loans, insurance policies, basically other people's resources, okay? So some of you may find that you get money from a spouse. You get money from someone else. Someone else shares their resources with you. Someone else puts you on to investment advice, or they co-sign a loan for you, or they help fund your business. Those are sort of the ways in which the solar eclipse may work out for you. Okay, it's all about starting something new, something unexpected, something you've been really desiring. If you've been desiring to, branch out on your own and start your own business, someone may, like a benefactor, may just come in and give you the funding, give you the startup funding to get things going. The 8th house also covers inheritances. So someone, may leave you an inheritance. Maybe someone you didn't even know may leave you an inheritance, and that gets you going. And it's in line with your desires, okay? For some of you, this may be an intimate partnership that finally comes together. Maybe you are meeting someone who you have this close bond with, and now you're taking your relationship to the next level, all right? In terms of substance, not necessarily in terms of marriage, although it could be. But it's really in terms of substance and sort of like a spiritual bond in a sense. All right. That's pretty much how the solar eclipse may play out for you. Let's get a card and see what else we have for you. All right. We've got beauty. Okay. Another sign got this too. So there is, whatever it is, it's almost like this is all going to come together for you so beautifully. Like everything is just going to fall in place in such a beautiful way, and in a way that you probably couldn't orchestrate it yourself. The universe works perfectly, okay? Even when it seems like it doesn't, it really does. And I feel like all the pieces are just going to fit. And that could be literal, okay, if you get what I mean. But it could also be figurative. Like everything that you need is just going to be placed together beautifully so that you can have exactly what you want. You can have a full transformation. You can start something new. It's almost like the caterpillar, going into the chrysalis and now emerging a beautiful butterfly. But it has to do with money. It has to do with resources, and for some, intimacy. So whatever is going on with this solar eclipse, for you, Libra, it's going to come together so beautifully. Everything is going to come together beautifully. All right. Short and sweet and straight to the point for you, Libra. I like that. All right. So now we are up to Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 7th house of relationships. Okay, so there's a relationship you've been desiring. If you've been desiring greater commitment in an existing relationship, the solar eclipse is going to oblige, and in a way that's going to be magical. All right, this is like your ideal relationship taking form and coming to fruition. And this could be business, it could be personal, but whatever it is, it's going to be magical. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be very fairy tale like, and it's going to satisfy your deepest desires. All right. So For you, Scorpio, short and sweet to the point, straight to the point. It is relationships. All right, so let's see what this solar eclipse has for you. Interesting. Same card as Virgo. You guys have self-reflection. All right, so many of you are going to be able to finally be with someone who reflects who you truly are. You guys are all about trust. You guys are all about loyalty. You guys like to get to the nitty-gritty when it comes to relationships. It's not about superficiality. You tend to test people. I've been tested by a Scorpio, and let me tell you, I did not appreciate it, but I understood why. You tend to test people. You really want someone who's in the trenches with you, right? And I feel like this solar eclipse is going to finally give you that relationship that reflects who you really are. Because that's how you guys are. You guys are dependable. You guys are trustworthy. You guys are deep and substantive, you know, very emotional, but in a good way. That fire of desire that you guys have that burns within. You're going to find someone who just mirrors that to you. Someone who is exactly where you are, right? And for a lot of you, that is your deepest desire, because you want someone that you can really relate to. Someone that you can really, someone you can really relate to. And I feel like that's exactly what the solar eclipse is going to bring for you. All right. So congratulations, because that is wonderful. And again, I feel like it's going to be so idyllic. It's going to be like your fairy tale relationship. And I feel like you're just going to love it. All right. So that was Scorpio. Now we are up to Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 6th house of work and health. So if there has been a desire in terms of a health situation for you, in terms of work, and work meaning the work that you do for others, the services that you provide for others. So this would be your regular job, all right? So it also covers like your daily activities. So anything that you're desiring in terms of that, maybe you want to get more efficient. Maybe you want a new job. Maybe you desire a certain body type. Maybe you want your health to get back on track. The solar eclipse is going to make the necessary moves so that you can have all of that, okay? It's pretty much how it's going to pan out for you. So let's get a card here and see what we have for Sagittarius. Right? We've got will. Interesting. So where there is a will, there is a way. Some of you have felt that your situation may have been hopeless. Like, especially if you've been dealing with a health issue. You may have not saw an end or a positive end or positive resolution. I'm sorry. My nose always itches when I do readings. So if you see me fidgeting with my nose, that's why. It's almost like someone is tickling my nose. It's really weird, but it always happens when I do readings. Yes. So if you find that you felt like your situation was hopeless or you didn't see a positive end in sight, I feel like Spirit is like, well, there is a will, there is a way. And it's only by the workings of Spirit and the universe that can rearrange everything that this thing can come to fruition. I feel like many of you have been doing a lot. Like you've been trying to make it work on your own. And I feel like Spirit is like, yo, I've seen what you've been doing. Let me come in and help you. Let me do this for you. And you'll see that where there is a will, there is a way, and you can have a positive outcome to this health situation or this work situation. Or if you're desiring for your daily activities to look completely different, but you didn't know how it was going to happen, the how is not up to you. The universe takes care of the how, and the universe is going to take care of the how via this solar eclipse. All right. So just sit back, get your popcorn, and see how things roll out. See how things pan out, because I feel like you're going to be amazed and extremely pleasantly surprised. All right. Okay, so that was Sagittarius. Now we are up to Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 5th house of self-reflection, romance, and children. All right, so this is the fun house. This is the house where you want to have fun, you want to relax, you want to follow your heart. This also governs romantic partners, children, expressing yourself, creative endeavors. So if you've been trying to give birth to children, particularly if you've been having issues with that, the universe is going to give you a brand spanking new beginning, so you're going to be able to have children, right? Or something new may be going on with your children. Same thing. Universe is going to make it happen. For those of you who are dating or who just have multiple partners, romantic partners, this is going to bring someone new into your life and someone who may be aligned with your heart, okay? For others of you, if you're looking to start a creative endeavor, maybe you're trying to monetize a hobby, maybe you just want to do something that makes you happy. Perhaps it has to do with sports or entertainment. The universe is going to come through and is going to provide a beautiful and unexpected new beginning for you. All right. That's pretty much how that is going to pan out for you. Let's get a card and see what we have. Okay. We've got balance, and I'm laughing because this message is so important for you, Capricorn. Like I said before, the 5th house is the house of fun, right? Not that you guys don't like to have fun, but you guys tend to be very serious. It's all about status, work, you know, your money. Y'all are very serious about that. And Spirit is like, I'm gonna need you to have a little fun. And I know that you're not gonna do it on your own, so I'm gonna do it for you. That's the universe talking, not me. So yeah, it's all about balance for you. All work and no play makes Cap a dull person, all right? And so I feel like the universe is like, oh, okay. Oh, you think that you can sustain whatever you're doing without relaxing, without having fun, without following your heart? All right, I'm gonna make it happen, but not in a not in a negative way, not in a way that's gonna like completely derail you. It's just gonna inject some fun and some creativity into your life in a way that you wouldn't have been able to do yourself. Okay, so pretty straightforward, Cap. And I like that for you because, again, you guys tend to be so serious. So serious. And, you know, I feel like this solar eclipse is going to add a breath of fresh air to your routine. It's going to add some new energy. It's going to allow you to follow your heart, which I think you guys really need right now. All right. All right. Next up, we've got Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. So this solar eclipse is going down in your 4th house of home and domestic affairs. So anything related to home, to family, to your physical dwelling, property you may own, grandparents, parents, all of that is covered by the 4th house. So with the solar eclipse going down in that sector of your life, I feel like if you're looking to buy a home, perhaps you felt hopeless when it came to buying a home or purchasing property or even moving to a different place. I feel like the universe is going to make the necessary moves and give you exactly what you need so that you can do that. So you can have that brand new spot, right? You can have a fresh start. You can buy that home. You can, you know, rent that townhouse or whatever it is. I feel like the universe is going to put everything in place for you so that you can do that. If you've been looking to start a family also, or if you've been looking to change things around in terms of your family, I feel like the universe will also do that for you as well. Regardless, whatever the deepest desires of your heart are, I feel like that is what the universe is going to be working on and eclipsing into your life with this eclipse. All right, so let's get a card here and see what we have. All right. All right, we've got pleasure. I forgot what sign got this as well, but this is pretty self-explanatory. This is all about your desires. Whatever you're desiring in this sector of your life, and this is the sector of home and domestic affairs and family, I feel like the universe is going to oblige. So really think about what it is that you want. It's not like you really have to make a petition to the universe because the universe already knows what you want, right? Especially because the universe is going to be moving things around so you can get what you want. But this is what you need to focus on. What brings you pleasure? What makes your heart sing? What makes you feel good? What makes your relationships at home or with family pleasurable and enjoyable? I feel like that's what you can expect for this solar eclipse. I think it's going to be such a beautiful energy for you. And I feel like you're going to be very emotionally fulfilled. You guys tend to not be that really emotional. You guys get labeled as emotionally detached. But I feel like this solar eclipse is really going to like tug at your heartstrings a little bit, but in a good way and in a way that's completely unexpected. All right. So be receptive to it because I think it's going to be really good. All right. And last but not least, we've got Pisces. All right, Pisces. So for you, this solar eclipse is going down in your 3rd house of communication and ideas. So I feel like for you, it's like the universe is going to give you flashes of insight, things you need to know. They're going to give you the opportunity to communicate with people who can get you to where you need to go. So this solar eclipse may find you very busy. I feel like the 3rd house, along with the 6th house, it's the busybody house. This is the house of rapid communication, lots of text messages, emails, short trips, perhaps, learning new things. It's all about a lot of mental activity. So I feel like the universe is going to set your mind right and get the right people in contact with you or vice versa so that you can have exactly what you want in line with your deepest desires and that so you can get to where you need to go. All right. So let's see what we have for you, Pisces. Okay. We've got the void. All right, interesting. So this is all about the new moon. See? Dark moon. This is right before the new moon, actually. All right, so it's really important that you I'm hearing clear out your inbox, erase voicemail messages. You're going to want to make sure that there is enough room or space, or I'm hearing memory on your computer, so that you can receive the things that are going to be coming in. You don't want to have, let's say you're trying to do something, right? And the very person who could put you in line with what you're trying to do calls you. But not only do you miss the call, your voicemail box is full. And so they can't even leave a message. Maybe they don't text you. Maybe they're not calling from a cell phone. You know what I mean? That's sort of the energy. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. So make sure that your phone is charged. It's clear. Make sure your inbox isn't overly stuffed with junk mail and stuff like that. Make room for the communications and for the ideas that the universe is going to provide for you with this solar eclipse. I feel like you may want to power down a little bit, do some meditation to quiet your mind, because when you start getting these ideas, you don't want it to be cluttered with a lot of other junk that you're thinking about, right? And also, you guys are going to want to memorialize whatever ideas or communications come in. So obviously, if it's an email or text message, it's already memorialized. But if you have an idea, write it down, journal it, because I feel like they're going to be $1 million ideas, and you definitely don't want to forget them. All right. So, interesting for you. I like that though. And again, with the stellium in your sign, expect abundance, expect love, expect magic and miracles, especially on a very personal level for you. Again, since that Pisces stellium is in your sign. All right. So love that for you, Pisces. All right, my friends. So that has been the astro forecast for the solar eclipse going down in Taurus again on April 30th. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least something of value and substance from this video. If you would like to know more, sign up for my newsletter where I break down everything regarding the solar eclipse and the astrology for the week. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Happy solar eclipse.